In the last section, we put together a plan for the different components that we're going to use inside of our application and created one file for each of them. Remember, deciding how to break up your application into separate components is a little bit arbitrary. Figuring out the best way to do it is something that really just comes with practice. In this section, we're going to talk about exactly what videos we're going to be playing here. Well, as I mentioned before, they're going to be actual YouTube videos. We're going to use the YouTube API to fetch data and show real YouTube videos to our users. Using the YouTube API is really a two-step process. First, we need to sign up for a YouTube API key. Getting access to the API is 100% free, but you do need a key for it. YouTube is happy to let you search and play their videos, but they really want to know who is searching through their videos. As such, we just need an API key to identify ourselves whenever we try to access their API. After we sign up for the key, we're going to install a small package that will make the searching process very simple. So let's go ahead and get to it. In my browser, I'm going to navigate to console.developers.google.com. If you don't have a Google account, you're going to need to sign up for one to get access to the dashboard. Google accounts are free, so just sign up for one really quick and come back to this dashboard. Now, as great as Google is, so many free services, it's fantastic. Some of their interfaces are really tough to get around, so bear with me here. Once you're at the dashboard, click on the icon on the top left, the hamburger menu up here, the lines, and then click on API Manager. So this will take us to another menu, which is the API Manager for your account. So as you can see, there's many different APIs that you can find here. We're going to search for a very specific one. We're just going to put in YouTube. Now you'll find YouTube Data API v3. Make sure that you're using specifically this API right here. So we'll just go ahead and click it. And this page right here just tells you, well, once you sign up for the API, here's all the different things you can do, blah, 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 whatever. At the top, you'll find a button right here that says Enable API. I've already enabled mine, so right now it says Disable. But for you, it'll probably say Enable API. Go ahead and just click it. It'll do some work, and then it'll say, Disable API. And it'll tell you that you successfully enabled the API. So now that we have the API enabled, we need to get an actual API key. So on the left-hand side, you'll find the Credentials button. I'm going to go ahead and click it. And then I'll click New Credentials, API Key. And then out of the four choices here, we specifically want to get access to a browser key. So I'm going to click Browser Key. It'll ask me to name it, and I'm just going to say, browser key 2 is fine. We don't need to put in a refer right here, so totally optional. So last thing we need to do is just click Create. So now we get this pop-up right here that has the API key that we need. So go ahead and select it and copy it. Now we're going to flip back over to our code editor and save the key right away. So at the very top, I'm going to make a new line, and we're going to declare a variable to hold this API key. Now remember, when we're using ES6, we don't use the var keyword to declare variables anymore. We can use const, or we can also use let, and we'll talk about let in a little bit. We use const whenever we make a variable that doesn't change. So as you might imagine, this API key isn't ever going to change, so we'll declare it as a const. And since it is a constant, a true constant, we'll write API underscore key so that anyone looking at our code in the future knows that this is a constant. And then we'll put in a string, so single quote, double quote, whichever one you prefer, and then we'll just paste the key in. Cool, so we now have our API key, which is going to allow us to make requests to YouTube. So the next step is to download and install a package that is going to help us make these search requests. To do so, we're going to install an npm package called YouTube API Search. This package has basically one purpose. Given an API key and a search term, it will go make an API request for us and return some data, a list of videos that match the search term. Like other packages that are already installed in this project, all the ones we see here in the Node Modules folder, we're going to install this using npm, or the Node Package Manager. So over in my terminal, I'm going to make sure that I'm inside of my project directory, and then I'm going to install this as a new package. So I'll write npm install -- save, then YouTube -API -search. Let's make sure we get that all in one line. There we go. Okay, so this is going to reach out to the npm registry and install this package for us. When we use the -- save right here, it means please save this to our package.json file inside of the project. The package.json file is a list of all the dependencies that our project has. So I just opened the package.json file right here, and you'll see that we've already got a number of dependencies in here. These are the packages that were installed with this boilerplate application that allows it to make use of stuff like Webpack and Babel. You can also see React and React DOM in here, and you can also see the one that we just installed, YouTube API Search. Okay, this looks good. We got our package installed. Let's continue in the next section.